Hello friends, welcome back to your own channel Learning Bees. Today we are back with our latest series CBSE Class 9, and as you read by the title, today we are going to learn Geography Lesson number 2, Physical Features of India. This we are going to do in two parts. Today we are going to do part 1. But before that, if you are new to the channel, do subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post a new video. Like the videos if you find them helpful, share them with your friends. So let's start with our today's video, lesson number 2, Physical Features of India. What are physical features? Let's try to understand this first. Whatever we notice over the surface of any object, place, or thing can be referred to as physical features. For example, her facial features are attractive. This means that her nose, eyes, lips, etc. on her face are attractive. So, what can be physical features of India? That means physical features of India means that whatever we can see on the surface of India. In last lesson we did size and location of India, isn't it? So whatever is there on the area of India is called physical features of India. Is physical feature of India same everywhere? Is India same everywhere? Is it plain everywhere? Is water everywhere? Is only land everywhere? No. We in earlier lessons, in earlier classes, we have learned different landforms, isn't it? Plains, plateaus, mountains. So that only, and our India is where we are all very fortunate to have all the physical features in our country. In our country, we can see mountains also, plains also, plateaus also, desert also, coastal plains also, and islands also. So we can group physical features of India into these 6 different physical features of India. Now, what are these 6 physical features of India? The Himalayan mountains is the first one we can see in the north of India. Then the second is northern plains. Just below Himalayan mountains, we can see northern plains. Then the third is peninsular plateau. All the southern part of India is peninsular plateau. Then the Indian desert is towards west of India. The coastal plains is towards the coastline of India. And the islands are in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. So all these physical features of India we are going to study in this 2 videos. Number 1 and 2 we are going to do in this video, and the remaining ones we are going to do in the next video. So stay tuned for the whole lesson. So let's start with the Himalayan mountains. Now if you see this map of India, you can see here Himalayan mountains, the whole northern part and northeastern part. The brown color whatever we see in the northern part of India is covered by Himalayan mountains. So these lines that you are seeing here, they are Himalayan mountains. So we are going to see now Himalayan ranges. The Himalayan mountains. Himalayan mountains are very big. The whole of north and northeast is covered by Himalayan mountains. It is very difficult to study them together as a whole. So we are going to study them in sections or layers. But let us see what are Himalayan mountains together first. The important points of Himalayan mountains, characteristics. The first one is that Himalayan mountains are geologically young and structurally fold mountains, stretch over the northern borders of India. So these geologically young and structurally fold mountain stretch is over the northern border of India. The complete northern border and northeast of India, we can find these Himalayan mountains. Then they run in the west-east direction. From west they start towards the east of India, complete. From Indus River to Brahmaputra River. This we are going to learn later in this video. Then these are the loftiest. Loftiest means very big. The loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers. So in the world also, they are well known as the loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers of the world. They form an arc. They form an arc which covers the distance of about 2400 kilometers in the north of India. Their width is different. It is in Kashmir, it is about 400 kilometers, but as we go towards the east, their width becomes less. It is about 150 kilometer in Arunachal Pradesh. So this is about Himalayan mountains in general, the characteristics. That first is geologically young and structurally fold mountains in the northern India. Then they run in west-east direction from Indus to Brahmaputra. Then they are loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers, and they form an arc in north of India, about 2400 kilometers. Now we are going to study Himalayas from north to south in sections or layers. The northernmost layer, the middle layer, and the southernmost layer. The first one is Himadri. The northernmost range is known as Great or Inner Himalayas or Himadri. Three names are there: Great Himalayas, Inner Himalayas, or Himadri. They are most continuous range consisting of loftiest peaks. Means these are their height is about 6000 meters. Average height of these Himadri is 6000 meters. All loftiest peaks means Kanchenjunga, Mount Everest, K2 peak, then Nanga Parvat. All these peaks are present in Himadri. So this is the highest part of Himalaya. It contains all prominent Himalayan peaks. So this was about the inner Himalaya or the northernmost section. Now we will talk about the middle Himalaya, that is the Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. The range lying to the south of Himadri forms the most rugged mountain system and is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalayas. They are mainly composed of compressed and altered rocks. The altitude or height varies between 3700 and 4500 meters. That means their height is less than Himadri, not equal to Himadri. They are little less in height, and the average width is 50 kilometers. So this second layer is about 50 kilometer in width. Pir Panjal range is the longest range in Himalayas. Dhauladhar and Mahabharat ranges are also prominent in this section. The famous valley of Kashmir, isn't it? Everyone likes to, and everyone's dream is to go to Kashmir, right? This Kashmir is present in this Lesser Himalaya. So whenever you go to Kashmir, keep in mind that you are in the middle of Himalayas. That is the middle section of Himalayas. So Valley of Kashmir, the Kangra, the Kulu Valley, these are all located here in Himachal Pradesh. That is Lesser Himalayas. Means all the famous hill stations are present here. Mussoorie, Nainital, Ranikhet, all located in this Lesser Himalayas. Now we will talk about the third layer. The outermost range is called Shivaliks. They extend over the width of 10 to 50 kilometers and have altitude or height varying between 900 and 1100 meters. Means they are not very high like Lesser Himalayas and Inner Himalayas. Their height is less than them. These are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought down by rivers. Now all the rivers that are flowing from Himadri to Himachal, from Himachal to Shivalik, they are coming down, and they don't come only with water. Along with water, all sediments come down with the river. These valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium. So Shivalik is covered with thick gravel and alluvium that is brought by the river water. Okay, there are valleys in between these sections, horizontal sections. Okay, so there is a valley in between Lesser Himalayas and Shivalik. There is a valley between Himadri and Lesser Himalaya. So the valley Shivalik, there is a valley between Himadri and Lesser Himalaya. So the valley that is present in between Lesser Himalaya and Shivalik is called dunes. So all the places like Dehradun, Kotli Dun and Patli Dun are present. These well-known dunes are present in longitudinal valley that is between Lesser Himalaya and Shivalik. So this was all about Himalayas from north to south. Now we will start understanding Himalaya from west to east. So the part of Himalayas that lie between Indus River and Satluj River are called Punjab Himalayas. Okay, the first or the western part is Punjab Himalayas, lying between Indus and Satluj River. Then the second part is the part lying between Satluj River and Kali River. It is called Kumaon Himalayas. Then the third one is the Kali and Tista River demarcate Nepal Himalayas. So third part is Nepal Himalayas. And the fourth part, to the eastern part of India, it is between Tista River and Dihang River, and it is called Assam Himalayas. So from west to east, the first part is called Punjab Himalayas, the second one is Kumaon, the third is Nepal, and towards the east, the last one is Assam Himalayas. The last part of Himalayan ranges, that is Purvanchal ranges, is present in the east northeastern part. The Brahmaputra river enters the India, and that marks the easternmost boundary of Himalayas. They are known as Purvanchal or eastern hills and mountains. These hills are mostly composed of strong sandstones, which are sedimentary rocks. This area is covered with dense forest and mostly run as parallel ranges and valleys. The Purvanchal comprise of Patkai Hills, Naga Hills, Manipur Hills and Mizo Hills. All these hills are present in Purvanchal ranges, that is in the northeastern part of India. So this was all about the Himalayan ranges that we have understood, the first physical feature of India. Now we will study the second physical feature of India, that is the northern plains. Now what are these northern plains? As the name tells us, it is plain. This is not a mountain, it's a plain. So when this mountain gets over from Himadri to Himalaya, Lesser Himalaya, then Shivalik, after this the southernmost part where Shivalik ends, their northern plains start. And all the rivers that are flowing from the north and coming down from Shivalik, from Himadri to Himachal, and from Himachal to Shivalik, and from Shivalik they come down on the plain and they form tributaries, and they come along with the alluvium, silt, sediments, and this northern plain is completely made up of alluvium, and that's why it is made up of alluvial soil. So the northern plain is made up of alluvial soil. This is formed by the interplay of three major river systems. That is the Indus River towards west, then the Ganga in the middle of India, and the Brahmaputra towards east. All these three major rivers and their tributaries together form this northern plain. This plain is formed of the alluvial soil, that is the alluvium brought by these rivers. Area of this northern plain is 7 lakh square kilometers, very big area. The plain is about 2400 kilometers long and 240 to 320 kilometers broad. Long means from west to east. Length of the plain 2400 kilometers, and the width is more or less in between 240 to 320 kilometers broad. Out of 6 physical features of India, northern plains is densely populated physiographic division. Okay, so why this is densely populated? Because it has rich soil cover, it has adequate water supply because all the rivers are flowing here, and favorable climate. These 3 things are best for agricultural activities. So it is agriculturally productive part of India. These are granaries of India. Whatever population of India is fed, or the food is provided by these northern plains to India. So these are granaries of India. Okay. Now since it is very big area, we have to learn in divisions. So divisions of northern plain from west to east. From west to east. The western part of northern plain is called Punjab plain. This is formed by Indus River and tributaries. Larger part is present in Pakistan. Some part is present in India. The Indus and its tributaries. Which tributaries? The Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas and the Satluj. These 5. The water of these 5 rivers have made Punjab plain. So it is called Punjab. Panj means 5 and Ab means water. That's why the place is called Punjab. Okay, now the second northern part of northern plain, Ganga plain it is called. This extends between Ghaggar and Tista rivers. It is spread over the states of North India. Which states? Haryana, then Delhi, our capital, then UP, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, some part of Jharkhand and West Bengal. Means major northern states are all covered by this Ganga plain. And the third plain is the eastern part, that is Brahmaputra plain, Assam. Some part of Assam lie in Brahmaputra plain. If you see here in the map, you can understand one is Punjab plain, two is Ganga plain, and three is Brahmaputra plain. Now we understand northern plain by dividing it from north to south. Horizontal division we'll do. Okay. Now the rivers, after coming from mountains, they come with deposit, isn't it? They come with pebbles. These pebbles are present in this belt. When the Shivalik ends, this belt starts. This belt is about 8 to 16 kilometers in width, full of pebbles, only stones, no rivers, nothing. This is called Bhabar. All the streams disappear in this Bhabar belt. Then the next belt, horizontal belt, is called Tarai belt. South of this belt, means after Bhabar downwards, the streams and rivers again emerge and create a wet, swampy and marshy region. It is called Tarai. This region was very thickly forested region earlier, full of wildlife. That's why Dudhwa National Park is present in this region. Okay. The largest part of northern plain is formed of older alluvium. So, some part of northern plain, older alluvium. It lies above the floodplains of the rivers and present a terrace-like feature. This part is known as Bhangar. So, first is Bhabar, then second is Tarai, then the third section is Bhangar. It is made up of older alluvium, largest part of northern plain. It is having a terrace-like feature. Bhangar. The soil in this region contains calcareous deposits, means big coarse deposits. They are called kankar. And the next fourth section is newer, younger deposits of floodplains. They are khadar. They are called khadar, which is renewed every year. Khadar is renewed every year, and it is the most fertile and best for agriculture. So we understood northern plains into four parts. Let's see this picture and understand. The Himalayan section is over, then there is a Bhabar pebble region, Bhabar, then Bhabar is about 16 kilometer in width, then Tarai region, after that towards the south of India, then Bhangar, that is older alluvium, calcareous deposits, that is Kankar, and the Khadar, it is the fine alluvium present and it is renewed every time. It is the latest one and the most fertile, very good for agriculture. So these are the four sections of northern plain from north to south. So we have covered northern plains and Himalayan ranges in this video. In the next video, which is coming very shortly, we are going to cover the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, coastal plains and the islands. So stay tuned for that. The part 2 is coming soon. So guys, I hope you like the video. Like the videos, share them with your friends, and of course do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.